The reason why you dream of having your baby is because that reality exists. Some of you may have already felt or seen your spirit baby, which is the soul of your baby. If you missed my YouTube video on spirit baby, it came out earlier this week, so just search for it. It came out on Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't remember. Anyway, it's out. So it's a pretty comprehensive overview of my work with spirit babies and my experience with them, just from my personal work and my perspective. All right. So if you have seen them, you felt them, this is confirmation that they are already there. Just relax into that and enjoy that process, deepen it. If you haven't had the experience of them, which will be the majority of you, don't worry. Your intense desire for a baby has summoned one, even if you don't feel them. And I will include a link in the comments with the spirit baby meditation, where I guide you into how to connect with your spirit baby. Very simple, stupidly simple, but effective. It's very, very effective. All right. So getting back to the main point, you have the ability to have a baby, or you wouldn't want it so badly in the first place. The reason why you want to have a baby is because your subconscious already knows that you can. Your higher self knows it. Your intuition knows it. And if you believe me, now your conscious mind knows it. Here's the secret that very few people understand. The spiritual teachers know it, and that's what they teach. It's in religion as well, and quantum physics support it as well. It's said in different ways. Okay, all of creation is done. All of creation is done. Everything that was, is, and will be possible is already created. That means that the future that you want already exists in the present moment. I know it's hard, a little bit difficult to conceptualize and understand, but just keep an open mind and hang in there with me. Just allow your mind to absorb it. And if the things that I teach resonate with you, it'll eventually sit in and you're like, okay, and you'll just accept it. Don't try to logic your way through it. It's, it's one of those things that it's just got to hit you at a resonance level, at a frequency level. So to collapse time, you have to learn to identify and access that timeline, the one that you want, from all the other possible timelines. And this is what I teach my clients. So it can be done by every single person, 100%, every single person, no exception. Okay, you're not going to be the one, you're not going to be the one left out. Everyone can do this. Whether or not they know it, this is how people achieve things that are otherwise considered impossible. And I put you all in that category, not because I personally think it's impossible, it's because modern medicine does. Or at least if not impossible, then it's going to be very difficult. It does not have to be that way. Okay, so first I want to lay the groundwork with a few basic concepts. You're going to need an open mind, and you're going to have to probably process it more later, since it's not intuitive and it's not taught in mainstream. It is covered in, I think, religion. I don't know. I've never read the Bible or anything else, so don't look towards me for that. It's definitely covered by other spiritual teachers. They just say it in different ways. It took me a while to wrap my brain around these things, because I'm a very logical person, very analytical person. But once I got it, everything that did not make sense to me before, it just clicked into place. And that's really when the Call in My Spirit Baby program started to come together in how I can help women in their 40s beat the ticking of time. So past, present, and future are energetic frequencies. Time is a construct. It is a human construct that allows our brain to be able to organize and structure and manage all of the things that we are being exposed to. But it is not really how reality exists. There is no time. When you reach higher states of consciousness, and you can reach them in various ways, my preferred method is meditation and not psychedelic drugs. For other people, knock yourselves out. But when you reach higher states of consciousness, you start to live outside of linear time, and you realize how everything is in fact in the present. Because the past, present, and future are not static events where it just happened or it is going to happen and that's it. They're actually excuse me, they're actually energy frequencies. And because they are energy frequencies, you have access to them now. That's actually how psychics work, or people who talk with the dead work. They're accessing the frequencies because it's all within us right now. Not within us, it's all around us right now. We just don't have the physical equipment with our bodies or the technology to be able to, realize that it's all going around. It's just happening all around us. And I use the analogy all the time of like a fish in the ocean. The fish in the ocean has no idea that we're walking on the land, that there are birds and the sky and stuff like that. It's because their physical body doesn't allow them to be able to perceive their environment in that way. But there's all of this stuff that's happening outside of their immediate realm of consciousness. It's the same for us. Our bodies allow us to perceive reality in a very specific way, but there are other dimensions, there are other states of consciousness, other energy frequencies that do exist. Therefore, UFOs exist. Aliens already exist. They're already here. So anyway, sidetrack. But so future timelines are energy frequencies. You can access them now. You already know this about past events when you recall a memory. That memory, after you've experienced it in the physical, even when you're experiencing it in the physical, but after you've experienced it especially, it's a frequency. It's an energetic signature that is going to last forever. Even when you die, it's going to still last forever. That information will last forever. Every thought, act, behavior, wish, all of that is being recorded. It exists. So a past memory can exist in your consciousness when you recall it, when you remember it, right? When it comes up, you're being triggered, or you see a picture and you're like, oh, I have these beautiful memories of that vacation with my family or whatever. So you're actively calling it up in your conscious mind. Or a past memory can recede into your subconscious when you forget about it, but it's still there. In the same way, future events have frequencies, and you can pull them into your present by how much attention you give them. And that's really what I want people to learn how to do, is to magnetize to them the reality that they want, because they're not technically creating anything. Because that reality already exists in the present moment. All you're doing is you're identifying which reality that you want, the beautiful vision of you with your baby and your partner and the happy home life, right? The white picket fence, whatever it is that you want. You identify that and you track that into your present life. So when you were dating, I'm going to use an analogy, when you were dating your partner and realized that you wanted to share your life with them, you were unconsciously tuning your frequency to that of the future that you wanted with them. Despite any disagreements you might have had with them, you continued to hold on to that frequency, that knowledge that you wanted to be with them until it eventually manifested. If you had swayed and started to question if he was the right person and maybe there's someone else better, which you did with the previous partners that you had before, the likelihood of you making it here together at this moment was slim to none. It becomes slim to none, because once that seed of doubt was planted, it's usually game over. It was the commitment to your vision of a future with him that allowed you to overcome any strife that you might have had. Okay, so if in a different scenario, if you had been shaken in your belief of the two of you, but ended up together in the end, looking back, you can probably see how it added time on your path to marriage. Every time you wavered, you add time. This happens in relationships when there's a pattern of breaking up and getting back together. They just basically prolong the inevitable of eventually breaking up, because there was no clarity and vision of being together through thick and thin, through the ups and downs, through the good and bad. There wasn't the commitment to it. They were basically flying by the seat, or you, if that was in your situation, you're flying by the seat of your pants, just kind of going with the wind, seeing how it felt, right? You were going by your emotions. You weren't going by your vision of you being together. So how does this concept relate to your baby, Zhenning? Whenever you're shaken from your vision of having a baby with your doubt, your fear, your anxiety, your impatience, you add time to your goal. your energy collapses, and then you got to build up the hope again. You got to build up the belief again. Each time it collapses, and the buildup can take longer and longer. And that's typically what I see. It takes, because the more times, you get disappointed, the longer it takes to get back up, right? That's usually the progression. The answer to collapsing time on your baby journey is to stay 100% in the belief that your vision of your baby will manifest. You do not waver at all. You completely ignore the circumstances. You completely ignore the doctors, the people, the media, whatever you're reading that's saying how difficult it is, how it's not going to happen. You completely ignore the circumstances. So how do you do that? That goes back to what I started with saying. You trust that if you want it, it already exists. And that's called having faith when you don't have the proof yet. If you want the proof in order for you to believe it's possible, that's not how the universe works. Belief comes first and then proof, always. A person overcomes poverty to become a millionaire by believing that she can do it before the money is in the bank, not after, all right? That money in the bank is evidence of manifestation of her belief that came first. You believed you could be a success in your chosen field of profession before you got to where you are now. You believed that you could become a college graduate and be successful when you were still a snot-nosed kid who was a know-it-all, just out of high school, knowing how much work it's going to require and very little life experience. You believed in yourself enough that whenever you were told no, when you stumbled, when you experienced failure, when you barely passed your exams or maybe even failed them, you got right back up and you did it again and again and again. That's faith, and that's what you need on your baby journey. So you stay in the vision and you stop being a historian of your past. You're constantly resurrecting the disappointments. When you do that, you bring it into the present, and then because it's in your present, it's going to manifest into your future. So what's happened in the past, you bring it into the present. Because it's in the present, it's going to manifest in the future. You're creating the future from the present moment. So whatever frequency is dominant in your present will become your future. Your current manifested reality is already history because it's a result of your past thoughts. So my reality, your reality right now, as of this moment, this second, is because of what we thought about a week ago, a few days ago, a day ago. It's already past history. So it's our current thoughts that is going to create the future. Instead of a historian, become a seer, a fortune teller, one who has the power to predict the future. When you see yourself as having that much control of your life, you just pick your desired future. In reality creation, that's what a kind of manifestation, conscious manifestation is called in different circles. Reality creation. I kind of prefer that more because it's more. I think it's more technical. I don't know. It just sounds better. I like it, whatever. In reality creation, that's exactly what we do. We're just picking and choosing what we want. And then we're leaving behind the things that we don't. And in doing that, we ignore the circumstances. It's like standing in front of the bakery counter and then you're choosing your favorite pastry. I love using food analogies because I'm a foodie. So you're standing in front of the bakery counter and you're choosing, I want that pastry. And I don't care about anything else. I just want that. Give me that. I'm not going to fuss about this other thing because it's a little bit off, or I don't know, it doesn't have enough chocolate chips or whatever it is. I'm focused on here and that's what I want. Give me that. That's the same attitude that you have to have. For you, what that means is that not having a baby is like a pastry. It's an actual pastry, so a baby pastry, right? That you're going to actively pick up. Baby is one pastry. No baby is another pastry. It has its own frequency, so it is just as tangible as you're already experiencing now. Baby is concrete. This is the thing that you need to understand. No baby is just as concrete, even though people don't perceive it that way. People think that the situation of no baby is just I think this is how they see it. It's just like a momentary diversion of your attention away from the presence of baby. It's not. When you can understand that no baby is just as tangible as the presence of baby, like they're two separate things, like two glasses, like it's tangible, no baby. It's going to help you be more aware of what you're putting out into the universe. No baby is lack. You put out lack, you get more lack coming to you. Baby is abundance. You put out baby, 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 you get baby coming back to you. Okay? So get into the vision of having your baby. You do that by meditating every day to connect with them. That's how I teach it. I'll put the link to the Spirit Baby meditation below in the comments. It only takes a few minutes. You show up for your baby just as you would if they were in the physical. You've got to show up. They need to know, because the reason is because there have been so historically from many of you, there has been so much doubt and fear and just impatient. Like you have to clear all of that up and let them know that they are wanted, that they are loved, and you do that by showing up. A child needs their parents to show up consistently, and you show up in meditation. And that's how they know that you're invested. Connecting with them should be a fun process, so it shouldn't be a hardship. It shouldn't be something difficult to do. In the beginning, as with anything, it takes some effort to make it a habit, a part of your routine. It's a skill. Just like learning a language or an instrument, you expect to have to practice in order to get better. Meditation is the same thing. It takes time, it takes consistency, and it's practice, and you get better and better at it. It does not come naturally to most people. You would think it would, just because you're just sitting down, closing your eyes and meditating. But the difficult part is that all of these thoughts and these emotions, once you're quiet, they start coming up, and you start getting pulled down these rabbit trails. And the practice of meditation is to clear all of that away, so that you create space within your energy field to be able to connect with something far bigger than yourself, something beyond the 3D physical world. So a lot of people push back towards me on making meditation a daily habit, like with clients and stuff. A lot of people say, I've been busy and and whatever their reasons are, it doesn't really matter. But there's a lot of pushback. You have deep reservoirs of abundant energy that you habitually fail to use. And you can push past those first false feelings of fatigue, of discomfort, of boredom. You're going to find just this exhilarating second, third, fourth wind that's just going to take you to your baby. No one likes to practice scales. I didn't when I was learning piano. I didn't like learning the verb conjugations, but we do them because we know it's necessary to get to the next level. They are part of the foundation of up-leveling. In the beginning, meditation can feel like practicing scales and learning the conjugation, but it's a really integral part of manifesting intentionally. Especially in the way that I teach, it's very heavily based on meditation. I'm sure there are other ways, but I don't know what they are. So you need to be able to have a way of moving into higher states of consciousness. And you do that in meditation. You start in meditation, and then you bring it into your daily life. The higher states of consciousness, they're really, really important, because in those higher states, you're experiencing a different reality. And some people feel it, a lot of people feel it in meditation immediately. And so you're experiencing a different reality. And then when you do it enough, you realize that everything is an illusion. It's a matrix of your own making. And you can reconfigure this matrix in any way that you want, so that you're experiencing a reality that is harmonious, that's aligned, where there's a lot of synchronicity, where linear time and thus the passage of time drops completely out of your awareness, and the realization that you don't really need to try and figure things out. And so when you're in those higher states of consciousness, the right people, the right information, you get messages from spirit, you get messages from your intuition, they just flow into your life. And that's really where I want people to be in, is to be in that flow. So life just becomes much easier. Everything that they want just comes and flows into their life. The more that you live in these higher states, the more certain then you become that your baby will manifest. There's a confidence in there that just kind of comes automatically because you start seeing the world in a different way. You are no longer tied to the 3D physical world. You realize there's so much more, so much more potential, and that you have access to all of that. And then so you get to the point where you become so certain that you know it's inevitable. And that's really where I strive to take my clients to, is that state of inevitability. You can live your present life to the fullest and still connect with your baby every day. So you would just be prioritizing your time, and the time that you would normally be scrolling through your social media feeds or watching Netflix, you'd instead be spending them in meditation, connecting with your baby. Honestly, during the most difficult times in my life, when I have things to work through, I spend more time in meditation. I really try to step out of kind of the 3D world and just go into meditation, or go for a walk out in nature. I really deliberately try to disconnect myself from the problems, because when I'm so focused in on the problems, I generally don't see the solutions. It's only when I step back from it all and just really connect with myself and just do the things that really allow me to rebalance and get more aligned, that's when the solutions start coming in. Okay. In this way, if you're, if you realize where you're spending your time that's not benefiting you, and you just kind of refocus and repivot it to meditation, you balance being in the present with manifesting them. And so it really shouldn't be like a struggle of, should I be doing this, or should I be doing that? It should be really pleasant. I have a client, well, several clients, who does just that. She lives her life fully. In fact, it's ever since we started working together, it's been better than ever. Her relationship is flourishing. She's gained insights into relationship that she didn't have before. She's doing great in a job. It's because she's so present, and she connects with her baby every day. So she has that certainty. She has that knowing. Their connection is so well established that she just easily connects with her throughout the day. She thinks about her baby pops in. But in the beginning, she had to put the work in until it all just kind of clicked together at some point. I remember the first few sessions, nothing was happening in meditation. And then there was a progression, but she wasn't experiencing her spirit baby for a few sessions. And then at one point, it just kind of clicked in. And then she was just very consistent about meditating and getting in connection with her spirit baby. So for most people, it does take some time and some commitment. And so she's now at that point where she feels it's inevitable. She's even reached the level where she buys things for her baby. She reads the book to her spirit baby in meditation and knows that she'll be reading it to her in the flesh one day. Because she is so certain of it happening, she has reached this emotional state of neutrality where the obsession is gone. She doesn't think about her age anymore. She's in her mid-40s. She doesn't think about her history. She's had a number of failed IVFs. And so she doesn't think about that. It's no longer in her sphere of awareness anymore. She never talks about it. And she used to when we first talked, when we first started working together. So all that's left now is just this calm knowing, and that's really where I hope all of you can achieve and get to. And so, and it's very possible to do that. And so, just do the work. That's what I have to say. To summarize, what you need to do to collapse your timeline on your baby journey is to know that the reason you want to have your baby is because it's already done. They're already there, and you stay connected with that knowing. For some of you, you need to have a process to get into and stay in the knowing of that reality, and that's what the Call in My Spirit Baby program is all about. It's a 6-month program where we meet every week to build the faith and work towards the certainty and knowing that your baby will come. It's a step-by-step process that I take everyone through. We start on Tuesday, September 6th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. All the calls are recorded if you can't make it live. It's not an understatement to say that it will change your life. The changes, the 180 like in terms of the 180s I've seen in the clients is just jaw-dropping, and it's just really heartwarming to be a part of that process. It will change your life because you just see things in such a different way. You take yourself out of the 3D world that, you know, a lot of us, when we're in the kind of get stuck in the details of life. It feels like a maze a little bit. You know, it's like, oh, which way should I go and stuff like that. And it's just really great to be able to realize that you have the power to just completely obliterate those walls, that maze, and just have everything at your disposal. Okay, and the skills that you'll learn, you'll be able to up-level your entire life. Like I said, when my client, the relationship got better, her work is doing really well, so it comes to you more easily, and you know, and obviously your baby will come more easily. So if you're already on my email list, you have the payment links. If you have any questions about the program, you're not sure about it, feel free to email me. If you're not on my email list and you're not getting my my contact information, then just contact me directly to find out more about the program or the payment links. Again, feel free if you have any questions about the program at all. And I really look forward to working with a whole bunch of you who are ready to really move forward on your journey, because this is a really phenomenal process where we just release a lot of things that hold us back. And we all have stuff that hold us back. So otherwise you would have your baby. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me to watch this. I wish everyone all the best on their journey, whether or not I work with you personally. All right, take care and have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.